Hi, this is Barry here, and you're very, very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today I thought we'd have a look at 5 social media content ideas. Now, as you're probably well aware, if you are on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform you're on, that social media account needs to be fed regularly. It's a kind of a beast that, if you don't feed it, you don't put in content on a daily basis, it's very easy for your audience to move on to somebody else. If they don't see you showing up in their newsfeed, it's easy for them to forget about it. Forget about you. It's very easy for them to move on and follow someone else. And, if you're not in that social media platform, you're going to lose out because of it. Now, of course, that is another reason why you should be building an email list, but I'll put that aside for one day. We're just going to stick to the social media and the content ideas. So the first idea you could use is predicting the future. Now, this can be wild and wacky ideas, or maybe this could be a genuine thing maybe that you see is happening in your niche. So have a think about, get your pen and paper out then, and, if you had a crystal ball right now, how would you see your niche being in the future? For example, if you were in the weight loss or fitness niche, could you imagine people maybe running on treadmills with virtual reality headsets on them where they can, take runs in different parts of the world, or, running up a mountainside or something like that with wonderful views, and, it kind of takes out the monotony out of that run. So maybe you could do something like that. Or if you were maybe a writer and you were writing to other writers or bloggers, how would you see the writing niche going in a few years' time? Could you imagine maybe these kind of writing pods in your local park where people can go in and close the door and close them off from the world, but they still have all the beautiful scenery and view around them, but they can jump in with a laptop, they can write up a quick article, they could do a bit of writing during the day, and these pods are kind of dotted all over the countryside or whatever it is, and it allows people to free access to Wi-Fi or whatever, or do the little bit of work that they normally do, but they're outside. So think about that idea. What way would you see your niche go in the future? Now, of course, the wilder the idea, you never know, it might actually catch on, and who knows, maybe that idea actually will eventually become something. But if it's weird and wacky or something like that, maybe it will get people's attention on social media and it will get shared, and who knows, maybe it might create something that just kind of takes off without, with very, very little help, and, attract more attention to you because of it. Another thing you could do then too is your oversights. No one's perfect, and not even you. So what's been the biggest mistakes or the oversights maybe that has cost you money or held you back, or something that you held off for years, and then all of a sudden when you realize how to do it, it made a big difference to your business. So you could create some kind of content showing the biggest mistakes that you've made. Not everybody wants to show off the mistakes, but sometimes a lot of people kind of on Facebook and stuff like that want to have this kind of perfect, this perfect lifestyle that they have, and everything's going perfectly, and they're going to the perfect resorts, and they're hanging out with the most perfect people, and you never see all the mistakes or all the bloopers or all that thing. So could you create some kind of blooper reel, whether it's videos of you falling over or something like that, or your biggest mistakes, or it's something that you've learned because of that mistake then. So share those mistakes, and it'll make you appear more human, and it'll make you separate from everybody else. It looks like they're having this perfect life, and everything is going wonderfully well for them, when behind the scenes they're probably crying into the pillow at night time, but you don't see that. So open yourself up and show people what it's really like. Another way to open yourself up on the social media accounts is to do maybe a day in the life. A lot of people maybe follow a writer, and they assume that they're constantly writing from day to night, and maybe they like to know more about that. It's the same way we all buy these kind of celebrity magazines and follow Hollywood actors and all that, because sure enough, we see them when they're in the movies, but we're interested in what's the house that they live in, what's it like, and what pastimes they do, what's their favorite food, or and for the chance, we will probably never know all these questions. Okay, maybe some of the stuff is kind of, it's a bit stalkerish and stuff like that, and maybe we don't ever need to know all that kind of information. But a lot of people maybe are reading your blog, or maybe kind of following you in some of your social media accounts, and they're only kind of getting this kind of, maybe you're getting the writer side of it, and they're not actually seeing what your daily life is. What's your favorite food? What's your kind of morning routine? What do you do before you actually sit down to the laptop? And how do you unwind? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite books? And by letting people into your life, you become more than this author who's just writing in the romance niche or something like that. Your persona comes across, and they know a little bit more about you, and because of that, then you're going to appear more human, and again, they want to find out as much as they can about you, and people like that are probably going to have a stronger bond to you, and they're going to become your, die-hard fans who will just follow you no matter what you do. So again, if you're looking for ideas for coming up, but have a look around you right now, from where you're sitting, is there a mug or something on a slogan that, you bought in some shop when you were away on holidays because it made you, reminded you of such and such a thing? What about the t-shirt you're wearing right now, with maybe the Marvel logo or something in it, that's something, or, something crazy that you purchased lately that is nearby you, or something that's gone on in your home, something that's gone on in your room right now. Like, for example, I created a product there a while ago on writing emails, and one of the topics was coming up with email ideas. And again, I had told the person just to look around the room and see what what they found, and could they make a story up with that thing. So for example, when I was looking around the room at the time, I found my wife's shoe. It was a high heel shoe. It was just sitting beside me. So then I could talk about the last time she wore that shoe, and the wonderful dance we went together, and the great time we had, and maybe something like the maybe because there was one there, maybe the heel snapped off it, and I had to carry around for the rest of the evening, or whatever it is. You're going to find something in the room that's got a story related to it. Another time then, I was looking for an idea, and I challenged myself to come up with an idea, and all that was sitting on the table was a can of Coke and a pencil. And I created an email from that. I looked at that can of Coke and I said, well, what does that can of Coke mean to me? What memories does that can of Coke bring to me? And I remember back to the times when we had the Debs dance, it was like the formal in secondary school, and when we were only at the venue, me and the girl I had taken with me, and she got a glass of Coke dumped over her by accident, and it went all down the front of her dress, and of course, Coke being Coke, it stained it and it ruined it. And she spent most of the night then trying to wash out this stain on her dress. And from that simple can of Coke, that memory came back to me, and I created an email on that. So have a look around your desk, what you're wearing, have a look at your bookcase, DVDs, or whatever it is, and there's some memory or something that's going to be, or some idea that's attached to that, and you can create something for your social media your platforms with that. Another thing then too is you could share an experiment, something that you're doing at the moment that maybe your fans don't know about. Maybe you've always had this challenge where, you've had trouble with your weight, but maybe your fans don't know about that. And then all of a sudden, then you get in touch with them and you say, oh, by the way, because I've been sitting so long at the laptop, I put on 3 or 4 stone weight, and, I'm experimenting with this new diet, and it's worked wonders for me, and I'm losing weight because of it. Or maybe you're going into a new niche, maybe as a writer again, maybe you're going into another genre, and you don't tell anybody maybe that you've been writing maybe science fiction books when you're in the romance thing. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, by the way, I've been experimenting with my writing, and I've gone into this, and, what do you think of this? And, you can write about how maybe it's done well for you, or maybe how it's failed, but open yourself up to something that, that your readers probably wouldn't know about, or you have your social media followers. Again, maybe you came across a website maybe that saved you loads of time, or there was sending traffic to your books, or, what you found was made your productivity far better, and maybe not many people know it, or maybe not many people are combining it or doing it the same way as you are, and you've been experimenting this thing and you've seen great results. So why not share that with your followers then? Because I'm sure they'd appreciate that, how to lose that extra weight, how to be more productive, how to do this, or how to do, and whatever experiment you have at the moment, try it out, and if it flops, it flops, but at least it shows that you're not just kind of a one-dimensional character that just constantly just putting up kind of maybe boring and bland kind of motivational quotes, and there doesn't seem to be anything more behind you as a person. But by taking on these kind of 5 social media content ideas, you can open yourself up, and again, it's not boring stuff. You're going to enjoy making them short videos and making people laugh, and having them laugh about the mistakes you made, and all these crazy predictions that you see for the future, and who knows where it might go, but again, you're going to find a lot of people maybe aren't going to go down this line, and you're going to be the one person that's going to do it, and it's going to separate you and put your head and shoulders above everybody else because you're doing it. So again, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it with one more person, or again, if you'd run over to iTunes right now and leave me a quick review, it would be really you'd be a star. You'd be a star in my eyes if you did something like that for me. And again, as always, thanks for sharing the time with me today, and take care and have a great day. Bye bye.